which provide additional facility inside Papyrus for performing safety analysis, a various set of safety analysis. When you need to make certification, you have to use this kind of tool. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the simulation. So Papyrus is providing tools for creating model. One of the very useful features you need when you make a model is to be able to simulate the model. So for that purpose, you have an extension of Papyrus called Mocha, which provides simulation facility, but also capability to animate the model, the graphics, and also is connected to provide debugging facility where you can go step by step and so on. So Mocha, so a very important point to notice is that in the labs we are providing two kinds of standards. We are working to provide standards like the one we do at the UMJ. So we are involved at the object management group to describe the specification, to build the standard. And we are involved in Eclipse to implement reference implementation of this standard. So as for example, you are implementing Papyrus inside Eclipse, but you are involved also at the UMJ to work on the definition of the UML itself. And the same for the simulation. So we are providing Mocha as an extension of Papyrus for model simulation, diagram animation, and model debugging. And in parallel, we are involved at the UMJ to standardize the equivalent standard. So FUML, FUML, as for example, which is the foundation for the execution engine of Mocha, and PSCS, which is the extension for semantic composite structure. So today I will show what we have today inside Papyrus. We can execute a model conforming to FUML. That means activity, class diagram, and activity diagram. And this year we are going to provide a support to what is called ALF, which is the action language of UML. Features to generate trace using for the execution, and animation of composite structure and animation of state machine. And in parallel, we are going to standardize the UML state machine semantics using FUML, and we are going to standardize an extension of ALF for dealing with composite structure and the mechanism to be able to formalize the semantic of a UML profile. And finally, all this work is done in the context of an industrial project because it's part of a collaboration we have with Ericsson, where we are going to provide an execution engine for the language UMLRT, which is, for the people who know, this language is also called ROOM. It's an extension of UML for real time. It's what was such tool like Rhapsody or such tool like RSA, RTA are providing this kind of language. So this is an example of Mocha. So you have a model which is based on class diagram and activity for the description of the behavior. So we have an extension point where you can provide the framework itself is extensible, and you can plug the simulator you want in fact. So we have a set of extension points for that purpose, and we provide of course several execution engine by default inside Papyrus, but you could also plug your execution engine for that. So we use one. Then we have to in fact say to which model we want to execute, and we have to clarify, we have to specify what is the starting point of the execution of the model, and then we can launch the execution of the system. So here we will see that both activity diagrams are in fact animated. I hope you will see. So we see that the different activities are animated and executed. You can set up breakpoint. In fact, you can set breakpoint to stop the execution. You can inspect the different variables of your model. It's a classical debugger. In fact, we use the debugger facility perspective of Eclipse that we have extended. you can make a step-by-step execution and so on. So Mocha provides you this framework, but also provide you the ability to put your own execution engine if you don't want to use the one we provide also. So here this is the current state of the Mocha module that can execute activity diagram. Another example of the usage of two extensions of Papyrus. So Diversity, which is the formal tool we use inside Papyrus for test generation, and Mocha for simulation. So here we make architectural description of the application. On one side, there are people who are in charge to describe the high-level interaction of the system using, as for example, sequence diagrams. On the other side, there are people who are in charge to detail the behavior of each component. And then sometime later, people ask to check that the detailed description of the architecture is conform to the high-level description of the architecture, which is, in terms of formal aspect, it's a conformity question, in fact. So we have a tool that okay, so as for example, this is an example, it's a Reaper system, where, so this is the composite structure description, the architecture description of the system. It's a set of components with port and connector to associate each port. So we have high-level description of the interaction between the components, in that case the sequence diagram. We can use the several concept of the language. We have timing constraints also that are specified, and we are going to check the timing constraint of the scenario. So first we translate this sequence diagram into a formal language, which is the input language of the Diversity tool. It's a kind of automata language, very classical informal-based design. Doing that, in fact, we will provide a set of test cases with the input that has to be applied to the system to test it. So it compute the thing, and it provides us a set of stimulus to apply to the system in order to test it. So in parallel, there is another engineer who makes the behavioral description of each component. So he details the architecture description. So here we use activity diagram for that purpose. So the three classes have a separate behavior description. And then we will, so we have a set of concepts we use for that. So this is a communication, this is a structure node, this is a choice, in fact. And then we will execute, in fact, this system using Mocha. And we will generate the trace of the execution. Here we will see that the trace is generated and saved. So, okay. So, and we will see, so we generate the trace, so the system is executed, so we see that there is animation of the activity diagram. Yes, you see that? And the trace is saved by another tool. Sorry, I have to wait it stop because I don't know how to accelerate. So there is a set of trace. So in fact, you are running the scenario which was defined by the test generation previously. And once the trace, the simulation will finish, in fact, we will compare the real trace, the trace of the simulation, with the trace that was expected by the formal analysis previously. And then we will see if the traces are matching, so there is a formal specification of this conformance specification, and if the traces are conformed together, the tool will say, okay, the simulation is conform to the specification. So it's another tool. Finally, we have an extension of Papyrus to deal also with safety analysis. So usually the system, this is an outline of a usual process for system engineering. And in front of all these usual stages, phases, there is activities that has to be performed by the safety engineers. So at the high level, we need to make functional hazard analysis. Then we have to make preliminary system safety assessment and so on. So today, SOFIA provides facilities for these two high-level stages. So we provide facility for preliminary hazard analysis, system hazard analysis, and safety requirement engineering at this stage. And for the second stage, which is a refinement of the former one, we provide fault tree analysis, model checking, and fault mode error analysis. There is a standard, which is, I would say, the root standard in the context of safety concern, which is called ISA 61508. And this standard is derived for several domains. So, for example, for healthcare robots, there is a derivation, which is this one. And currently, SOFIA is implementing the requirement needed to satisfy this standard and this standard. The methodology of SOFIA is based on 5 steps. The modeling of the system, so for that purpose we use Papyrus, so we use either SysML or RobotML, which is an extension of SysML for the robotic system. Then we offer possibility to express safety concern, so either using Boolean expression in the composita structure to specify the defaults that are possible in the system, or using extension of state machine with additional safety information. Then we enable a set of analysis. I'll come back later on that. We provide the result under the form of FMEA table or fault tree, and we can provide also feedback directly into the models. So preliminary, we support preliminary hazard analysis, so we support the description of faulty scenario. We provide system hazard analysis. We provide support for FMEA analysis. We provide support for fault tree analysis. Model checking, so we have connection with a new SMV model checker, as for example to check some reachability properties or safety properties. And finally, we have a connection for safety requirement engineering. And as for example, we have a gateway with the RECIF standard to enable to connect with tool like doors. So all these tools, modules, are indeed based on Papyrus. They are extension of Papyrus, which is very highly used now in first in R&D collaborative projects. So it's a set of projects where they use Papyrus as a modeling tool. OpenATCS in the railway domain, as for example, is used for describing the system. It's a connection. It's a project for where there is a main company involved in nuclear activity in France, and this Romeo project where we use Papyrus for the description of the Romeo project. But it's also involved in the industrial project, so it's part of industrial product. So 3 companies are working with us to build their tool. Scale System, for example, is based on Papyrus. Phi System from the company Sherpa is also based on Papyrus, and Safety Architect is also based on Papyrus. Of course, Ericsson is one of the main supporters, industrial supporters of Papyrus, and they use Papyrus and they extend Papyrus to provide their software. So I advocate you to look at this keynote, which is a very interesting keynote provided by this guy of Ericsson, and give you a lot of information about why open source is important, why UML is not so bad, and why Papyrus is also very important for them, and why they support that. And if you want to see more on Papyrus and DSL, there is a next presentation in this room from Ericsson guys, where they show a usage of Papyrus to make a DSML. And this DSML is used and deployed today within Ericsson for 200 architects, as for example. This is the first deployment of Papyrus within Ericsson. That's all. Thank you. If you have questions, you can ask. I think you are out of time, but we have a booth just there. You are free to come, and we will be happy to answer to your question. and to make a more in-depth demonstration if you want. Thank you.